A lot of incorrect button pressing then, but we're here. What's up? Welcome back. Welcome to the stream. This is stream number 26 of the Live Drum Machine project. If you don't know me, my name's James. I'm a product designer and I'm into tech products, music products, all those kinds of things. And in these streams, I've been working on... What is that noise coming from? Oh, I have the stream open. Sorry. Yeah, so I'm into designing products for making music, those kinds of things. In this stream, we've been working on this project in SolidWorks, which I can show here, which is, well, this is not the main project. This is a prototype I've been doing in the last few streams, and it's for a hardware drum machine. This thing is some weird contraption I've come up with to test buttons and knob positions. So this is basically a big sheet of acrylic, and this is a display in the middle, and this display will be able to connect to something like a Raspberry Pi. I just finished cutting all of this stuff. So yeah, the goal of this stream is to show you guys the stuff that I've cut, and I'm gonna start probably trying to assemble it here. First I want to say hey to Elk. Thank you for being here as always. Great to have you here. And yes, Troytech now. So if I show you, what can I press? This button. I've got some parts here in bags, and the main thing is this plate, which should look quite similar to this. Yeah, it's basically a big sheet of acrylic. You can see how big it is. And yeah, the idea behind this is that it's something like this, like a little grid that you can plug little keyboard foot switches into, and we can hook them up on the back for testing different functions, and they just clip into these square holes. So yeah, then you'll be able to press buttons. We can wire them up on the back, and we can put the buttons wherever we want, so we can try different kinds of layouts, but on a large scale. So we have this whole grid where we can test out different positions for buttons and knobs, and you can see the reflection on my screen there, so maybe I'll use this side. And there's also an option to put knobs in these square holes, and I'll explain that in a little bit soon. But first, I want to try to show you a video. This is the first time I've done this properly in OBS, so hopefully it works. But this is a little video of the process from how it went from this CAD into the real thing. So let's see if this works. And I can give you a bit of commentary while it's happening. Hopefully the sound works too. So here we have some computer programs set up, so Adobe Illustrator, where I nested all of the parts to be cut on the sheet. And then the other computer was running this Trotec software to power the Trotec laser. Let me know if the audio is too loud. Hopefully it's not, because it's basically just screaming laser cutter. Yeah, so the laser cutter goes around and basically burns through the plastic with a super hot laser in exactly the shape that I've designed in the CAD. And it's really quick too. This takes, I don't know, it took maybe 20 minutes for it to cut. And I just bought one sheet of acrylic that's 3mm thick and basically used the whole sheet. So you can see there, it's pretty much filled to the brim with parts that have been cut. So I had to break out the parts, and yeah, got a big pile of parts, and you can see there just how much of that sheet I used. There's almost nothing left. I've designed after the CAD session last time these little legs that will fit into the main plate, just to hold it up off the table. As you can see here, I just kind of did a quick edit to the design in Illustrator to add those. Yeah, that was it. It was quite fast. But yeah, I added those legs just to keep it off the ground, because initially I was planning to just put screws in here, and then I thought, why should I go and buy screws when I can just make some little legs to stick in? So yeah, in the actual thing you can see I've got the screw holes there, but also these 4 little square holes around it, and that will be where the legs go in. So if I go back to my overhead camera, the plan is to try to glue some of these things together. I'll probably put some paper towel here so I don't put glue everywhere on my bench. And yeah, I just thought I would bring you guys along for this, because I have to do it anyway. So yeah, I thought I might as well show you the process. So let me show you what parts I've got in here. So in this one, I've got these little legs. So basically, they're just 2 parts that look like this. Maybe I can put this as a backdrop behind it so you can see it clearer. One's open at the top, one's open at the bottom, and they've got these little tabs at the top. They just slide into each other like this, and then these 4 little tabs, I don't know how I can best show those, they will fit into the 4 holes like this. So it sticks up like that, and I want to glue them in so that they're not just wobbly. So that's what I have in this bag. then in this bag, I have the mounting brackets for the display. So, Marco, good to see you here. So yeah, we have these little plates. So if I go back to the CAD, you can see the display has these holes, these like screw bosses here. So these plates will screw into the display, and then with some spaces like this, they will screw into the top plate. And the top plate is slotted vertically so that the whole thing can be adjusted vertically. And these holes are slotted horizontally, so the whole thing can be slotted, adjusted horizontally. Now, I didn't have 11mm thick material to make that spacer. So what I did instead is I cut a bunch of little spacers that are all 3mm thick, and the plan is that I'll just sandwich them together. Maybe I'll even glue them together. So 4 of these will be 12mm thick, which is a bit more than I wanted, but it'll just mean that the display is like kind of recessed into the top plate a little bit. And if it's too much, I can unglue it. I can put a different spacer on there. Yeah, that's 13mm. That's 9.8, so that'd be not enough. But this does have film on it, and I need to peel the film off, so that'll make it a bit thinner too. So yeah, that's one thing. Can put these back in the bag. Sorry, that's the second bag of parts. And then the last bag is these little squares. So these, if I can show you one up close, it's a square with a circle hole in the middle. These are what was left when I cut these squares out. And this is why in the CAD, you can see all these little circles here. They weren't actually meant to be there as parts. Those circles were just there to give me a circle cutting line, so that when it cut out these squares, they would have a circle in the middle. Now, the reason for that is I can get a knob and put the shaft through that hole, and then basically hold it in here like this, and put a washer on the top, and the washer is slightly bigger than the square. So when I put the nut onto the knob and tighten it, it'll hold itself in there. So these are just kind of little knob adapter squares. So yeah, they will basically keep them. So anywhere in any one of these squares, if we decide, okay, I don't want this to be a button, I want it to be a knob, then we put one of these squares in there, put the potentiometer through it, put a washer on it, put the nut, and then now that square is a knob. So hopefully that makes sense. And Marco, version SolidWorks. The version of SolidWorks I'm using here is the latest version, and it's SolidWorks connected. So SolidWorks for makers, if you know of that, it's like a subscription model. You pay monthly, and it's reasonably well priced. It's like $10 a month or something. So I guess this is the latest, like 2023 edition. Yeah. So I don't need to do anything with these squares today, because these will just be here for when we need to put some knobs in the layout. And when we do that, we may or may not want to peel off the plastic film. Some of these have plastic film on them, some of them it already came off. But yeah, we can peel that off or not, it doesn't really matter. So that's it for these. So I think the first thing I want to do is glue together the legs, and then glue the legs into the top plate. Yeah, that's what I want to do. So I was test fitting some of these before, and some of them didn't fit. I think it's because they didn't quite cut very cleanly, or like the material was too thick. So I'm just going to test that they fit before I glue them, because if they don't fit I need to sand them down a little bit. I've got some sandpaper here, and I've got some glue, but I don't have much glue, so hopefully it's enough. I'm not going to use a lot of glue. I'm just going to use enough to keep things stuck. I don't know why this camera isn't focusing. There we go. So yeah, I'm going to make sure they all fit first, and then the ones that do fit, I'll glue them. And yeah, I won't use too much glue, because if we decide like, oh, actually it'd be better if that leg wasn't there because it's in the way of something, then we can take it out and yeah, probably just pull it out, hopefully. That one felt a little bit tight, but it's okay. So I made 12 positions where I can put legs. And I just thought that would be sort of evenly spaced, so that when you press buttons it doesn't flex the top plate too much. The acrylic's pretty strong, so I don't think it'll break. This one I've already sanded down a little bit, so hopefully that still fits. It's very tight. Maybe I won't use that one for now. I think I cut a couple of spares. That one doesn't fit either. So what's going on with you guys? Elk, Marco, how are ya? Did you like the video? This feels like it's stuck. If anyone missed it, I can play the video again. It is quite short. I think the worst thing will be if I put some glue on these parts and then go to put them in and they get stuck in the wrong position, and then I permanently glue them in the wrong position. Okay, so got all 12 of them laid out there. What's Elk saying? Doing well, Broham, and yeah, love watching manufacturing. Lol, used to work in manufacturing fields. Yeah, nice. You gotta love watching any kind of CNC machine work. 3D printers, laser cutters, CNC mills. Love watching it. Does it bring back memories? Good or bad? Traumatic, perhaps? I just got this little bit of paper here for gluing. Move this keyboard out of the way a bit. Yeah, so I've got to figure out what's the best method to glue these. Maybe I'll glue them together first, which I can probably just put a little dot of glue like in the middle there, so that when I do this, it kind of squeezes and attaches them to each other. Maybe I'll try that first. I never got to mess with CNC. I did manual milling and lathing. Real workman. I would love to have a lathe, or just to have access to a lathe to try it out. It looks so satisfying. Oops. Oh, I just pushed him in the wrong direction. I'm using super glue here, which may or may not be the best choice for acrylic. Well, I guess I'll soon find out. Man, I'd make so much shit with tools like that. I'd love to have a forging press and an auto hammer. Ah, right, that's one of those things that's like constantly going like and you just move the metal underneath it, right? That would be cool. Only 20k? Easy peasy. Just gotta sell some more gear on Reverb, you'll be fine. Okay. So the glue kind of held, but I was able to break it off. I mean, maybe I didn't give it enough time to set. But it is super glue. It normally sets pretty fast, right? And this tube looks like it's pretty much done. Yeah, I'm not getting any more out of that. Yeah, saves the shoulder for sure. The auto hammer, yeah. Yeah, those things are cool. Okay, new tube of glue. This is the last one, so just double check that this fits. And where should I glue it? I guess in here. Oops. Want some pressure on it. Power hammers are about 6k for the size I need, and press is about 8k. Then throw in foundation improvements to the power hammer pad, be close to 20k. It's an expensive hobby, but they all are, aren't they? Alright, well, that seems to be stuck. I don't know how strong it is, but like I said, I do want to be able to remove them if we need to, so I think it's okay. The press is about 8k, yeah, 20k. That's why I use a regular hammer and anvil. Yeah, I've got a mate who has a forging setup in my hometown, and yeah, it looks like a lot of fun, but it is, yeah, nothing's cheap. I was looking at one day I'd really like to do electric car conversion. I want to do a Toyota Land Cruiser electric conversion, and I was looking at motors, like electric motors to use, and yeah, I'm really into these axial flux motors. So look into it if you're interested. It's just like normal electric motors are radial flux, so they have coils going the same direction as the axle, whereas axial flux, it's kind of like the other direction. If that makes sense. Long story short, you can get a lot more torque in a really small package, but they are expensive and they don't have as high of a top speed. But for a car that already has a gearbox, top speed doesn't matter so much, because you can change gears. Whereas like in a Tesla, it's a single speed, so you only have one gear. So it has to spin really fast. But yeah, in a Land Cruiser, you got a gearbox. So I was thinking, yeah, this motor looks sick. It's like, it's like this big diameter by like this big. Like it's tiny, weighs like 40 kilograms. And if you look at like a V8 diesel engine for a Toyota Land Cruiser, they're like 250 kilowatts, and like 650 Newton meters of torque for 250 kilograms of engine weight. And these little electric motors are like 270 kilowatts, 1,000 Newton meters of torque, and weighs 40 kilograms. So it's like insane how much juice they got. But at the same time, cost about 10 grand for the motor. So that was the point of this long as fuck story about electric motors. Is nothing's cheap. Anything cool that you want, it's going to cost a lot. One day. Motors are from a company called Emrax. Maybe one day I can get enough subscribers to convince Emrax that I'm worth investing in, and they can sponsor a Land Cruiser electric conversion video project and give me a free motor. But yeah, we're talking like 10k for the motor and the controller, and that's not including batteries, and batteries are probably the most expensive part. What sort of stuff do you build in your forge, by the way? I know you've got like a Nordic vibe going with all your music stuff. I would wonder if maybe you were into like armory type stuff, or what kinds of things? Swords? Gotta love a good sword. And this glue sets so quick, it's so good. Five people watching on YouTube. Welcome. 4 people, sorry. Welcome to the stream. Feel free to chime in and say hi if you got something on your mind, or if you want to ask a question or something, or tell me something interesting. Tell me a fact. Am I doing this gluing off camera? Maybe I should get it up here a little bit further. Move this mic out of the way a bit. Could probably also zoom the camera in a bit too. Is that working? Maybe not, I don't know. Okay. I've gotta love super glue, it sets so fast. It's just perfect for ADHD brains. Like myself. I don't actually know if I have ADHD, but I wouldn't be surprised. According to the CAD, the button is not aligned to the center display. Not sure what you mean by that. Which button? Okay, got 4 of these glued on. 8 more to go. I've mentioned a few times in these streams that I have a tendency to design things in the series of multiplying numbers, like 2, 4, 8, 16, but also multiples of 8. And 12 I don't mind either. 3 times 4. Okay, so I've managed to get super glue on my fingers, which is great. Awesome. Still getting it. I'm getting more on there. 256 step. 256 step, yeah, that's one of the multiples of ascending numbers. Eight, 16, 32, 64, 128, 256, 512, 1024. Every time I go to glue this in, I get nervous that it's not going to fit. When I transport this, I'm going to have to make sure I don't put it in my backpack because it's probably going to rip all the legs off. Maybe I needed to design a case for it. Nah, I think, to be honest, this prototype will live on Yessy's desk. Yes's desk. I hope, anyway. Shouldn't need to transport it too often. What are you working on today, Elk? Doing some more... You doing some live streaming soon? Tomorrow, assemble the display. I would love to say, yes, I will do that, but I actually don't have the display yet. Yes, he's planning to buy that, as well as some switches and some potentiometers, hopefully. Actually, I need to get in touch with somebody about buying some of those. Do a custom order. So no, sorry, no display assembly tomorrow. I think once I finish this little prototype, I'm gonna hand it over to Yesser, and then we'll wait until he gets some parts, and then we can try to actually do some different layouts. But while I'm waiting for him to get parts, I'm probably going to start working on the final design again in CAD, because this is sort of an intermediary intermediary, is that a word? It's a intermediate prototype for testing some things, but it's not the final design, so I will continue on the final design, keeping things flexible, but I do already know a few things that are going to change that I need to update in the CAD. One thing is that I think we're moving away from Raspberry Pi. So yeah, in the beginning we were looking at using a Raspberry Pi and eventually moving to a Pi compute module. But I think now we're probably going to switch to an NVIDIA Jetson, probably the Jetson Nano, and we'll do development with the dev kit, and then eventually move to the, I guess you could call it like a compute module. It's basically a SODIMM module, system on module. And it plugs into a little RAM slot. That's what SODIMM means. It's like the RAM slots that they used to put in laptops. I was just checking the Pi supply and it's still dismal. Yeah. Oh, I missed a few messages here. Yeah, most likely right now I'm finalizing my desktop Surface. Decided I can't part with my Hydrasynth and need the keys. True. I also saw, what's that device you had where you like sketch, you were like, it has a touchscreen, you can like sketch a like a wave shape on there or something. Tomorrow assemble the switches and knobs. Unfortunately, we don't have the switches and knobs either, so I won't be able to do that yet either. It'll come eventually. But yeah, Pi supply is dismal, especially for the compute module, and that we would be relying on getting compute modules, and right now that's impossible. So we can't we can't reasonably design a product that relies on a compute module when we don't know if it'll ever be available again. Uh-oh, this doesn't fit. Yeah, it's quite scary, like designing any product that has a system on module in it. I mean, it's the same for companies like Mod as well. It's quite scary, especially if it's not a big name that's making the SOM. You never know how long they're going to make it for, and if they stop making it, you're kind of screwed. Oh, that super boutique 4-channel CV MIDI sequencer I converted into an 8-channel custom LFO hardware box. The product is called Noodlebox by 6for-Pix. Wow, that's a mouthful. So the shape thing you're drawing on there is a sequence or an LFO or? Looked cool. But I was watching you playing around with it and I was like, didn't he say he's only going to use those 3 devices now? But, you know, don't blame you. It looks like a cool device. It was a 32-step sequencer sending CC values. But like CC values coming from the shape that you drew. Marco, the Trotec shop. What's the Trotec shop? Okay, that fits. Okay, I just saw that message, but I just need to glue this quickly. Get in there. The Electron stuff has some limits in regards to modulation. My MIDI cable fuck up is why I installed it. Okay. Otherwise, I'll use my Octatrack for added modulation. Just need to replace my MIDI router. Fair. So you mean, by the fuck up, you mean the cables you got that were 90 degrees in the wrong direction, I'm assuming. But that thing, I don't know, it looked cool. Looked like you were getting some cool results with it too. I don't want to buy a new MIDI router, so I'm working with what I have on hand. Yeah, fair. The machine used to cut the sequence. The machine, yeah, let me play the video again for you. I don't know if I can pause it, but it's a Trotec something. Yeah. Can't remember. Sorry. I can look it up. Tritech laser. Let me show my screen. It would be, which one? Perhaps this one? No. Speedy series. I think it is a speedy series. Sorry, the website's in German. Let me see if I can change that. Speedy, I would guess. I think it's this one. Yeah, Speedy 100. So the bed is 600 by 300 basically. Speedy series indeed. Yeah, Speedy 100. That's what I used to cut. But yeah, the noodle box allows you to draw in your own curves and shapes, like an Etch-a-Sketch. Then you can assign MIDI channels and layers / pages. It's like being able to draw custom modulation curves. Dude, that's sick. Because, yeah, I mean, that's like something nice you can do in a DAW. But being able to do that in hardware is pretty cool. Oh, shit. Because I guess the whole point is that you're trying to stay mostly out of the DAW, right? Although you're not against it. But yeah, it is pretty cool to have that stuff like available at hand, like that you can actually adjust by hand and not have to fuck around using a mouse. Yeah, that's sick. Yeah, the Speedy series. I think we had the same laser cutter at my university, and I rate it. It's a good machine. Like occasionally I have to clean the filter and clean the mirror and the lens and stuff, but very fast and pretty accurate. Obviously it has a kerf width, but every machine does. Sorry, every machine does, so, you know. My DAW is basically a recording platform and a MIDI router. Yeah, and that's a good way to set it up. I really hope there isn't one of these legs that's like standing up higher than all the other ones. Okay, 2 more legs. Everything I do is generally live and on hardware in a single take. I prefer to mess with knobs over trackpad. Yeah, dude, I totally agree. I mean, even when I'm on my computer, I can't handle a trackpad. I'm a mouse and keyboard boy, as you can see. But yeah, I agree. Like when you're in a creative flow, like especially when you're jamming, doing sound design, all that kind of stuff, I think the more hands-on you can be and the less you have to look at a screen, the better. I think the place where a computer with a mouse and keyboard is advantageous is when you're like editing something after the fact, like refining things, you know. Yeah, I'm an idiot and go to trackpad over a mouse. Eventually I'll get a mouse. I mean, trackpad has its own advantages, like it saves space because you don't need to move it around on the mouse pad. But I just personally, maybe if I was a Mac user, maybe I would like trackpads more because Macs have nice trackpads, whereas a lot of Windows machines have very average trackpads. Not all of them, but the ones I've used have. Um, but shit, couldn't find. But yeah, generally, I'm just so used to using a mouse that it's my comfort zone, I guess. Um, yeah, much better about recording my audio and MIDI files now. Makes it nice to find snippets and create MIDI files from ideas. Yeah, and it's so much easier to do that stuff like afterwards. Finding the snippets and saving all your MIDI files and stuff is super nice to do on a computer. Like I remember when you were recording on that 1010 hardware recorder, which is a nice device, but then like practically trying to go through recordings and stuff afterwards, I imagine is a bit more of a headache. Nah, bro, I mean, I bought the Magic Trackpad as a companion to the trackpad on the Mac. I'm an idiot. Yeah, I figured that's what you meant, like the standalone, like separate trackpad. But that's alright, like, I mean, it takes up less space on your desk, so I can understand it. And if you're used to that kind of interaction from a MacBook, I can imagine it's probably pretty nice to use it. But yeah, I'm just used to mouse and keyboard. PC master race, It was so frustrating. I sold that blue box not too long ago. The other person really likes it, so hell yeah. Yeah, well, that's good. I mean, it definitely is a cool device. Um, like I can see practical uses for it. Could be nice for DJs and stuff who just want to take a recorder to a club and plug it into the mixer and record their set without bringing a laptop. Like for portability wise, it's really good compared to a laptop. If you need to take it somewhere else that's not your own place. The trackpad is miserable in a door. It is punishment for my choice. Well, smarter every day, right? We learn more about gear and we learn more about what we like. Different gear for different people, different strokes for different folks, right? This is part of the journey, is figuring out what works for you, and you gotta make mistakes, right? What do they say? Fail hard and fail early. Faster you fail, the better. More times you fail. Oh, yeah. I don't know. I don't know what I'm saying. But yeah. I mean, there's no harm in buying a Magic Trackpad, figuring out actually I don't like this, and then changing. I mean, I've seen you do that a lot with your other gear anyway, so buy something, try it out, figure out if you like it. If you do, keep it. If not, put it on reverb. Try not to get scammed. Alright, I think I've finished the legs. Look at that. They don't even fall off. This is a bit warped, but that's okay. I hope. Yeah. Check it out. It's a nice little table. I can probably just hit that with a hairdryer and flex it a little bit. Beep boop, beep boop. What do you think? Looks good? Hopefully when we're pressing buttons here, it doesn't flex too much. But it seems alright. None of the legs have broken yet. Cool. What's next? Right, so these things I don't need to do anything with today. These little squares with holes in them. I'll just keep them for when they're needed. But I can do the mounting brackets. So I'm just going to put this to the side. I guess first order is to peel off all the film. Which is one of the most satisfying things in life. Taking the peel off something. Alk, are you the kind of person who keeps the film on, or do you peel it? I always peel it. Actually say, like, for some devices, it's potentially could be damaging if you don't remove the film. Because if you leave something in the sun or whatever, it gets hot, the film can actually melt onto the device. Also with things like laptops and TVs where they have a potential to overheat, sometimes not peeling the film off actually means that it's more likely to overheat because that film is trapping some of the heat inside. Don't think these brackets will see much heat though. I was hoping I had some M3 screws so I could put them through these holes to align them while I glue them together. But I had a look and I don't think I have any. My Hydrosynth was bought after it launched 2 years ago and it still has factory installed screen film. Did you buy it secondhand? Or you mean you sold it still with the film on it? I guess it depends what the film looks like. If it's not noticeable, then it's okay. But if it is noticeable, I have to get rid of it. I suppose it's good for resale value. No, I bought it new and I have not removed the film. Okay, you're one of those guys. I can see that. I do that with some things. I keep the boxes for everything and keep the manuals. Put the manuals and spare parts in labeled bags. Put them all in a box together. I don't know, film, I have to get rid of it. I do worry sometimes about like resale But to be honest, most things I've sold that I've removed the film from, it just like, it wasn't even a topic. Like I'm usually able to get the price that I want for something without them being like, oh, it looks old or it looks used. My Electron stuff I pulled the film from. Okay. The noodle box came with a film protector that had stuff printed on it, so I was forced. See, that's my plan with future products, is like print on the film so people have to remove it. Sorry if that sounds cruel, but I think it's a good idea. I keep boxes too, I should stop. Yeah, it's like at some point you need another room for all the boxes. Or at least like a cupboard or some storage for it or something. But to be honest, like, I do that too. I keep the boxes. But actually, like, for resale, that's never really been a problem for me either. Like, people are still willing to buy things that don't have a box. I suppose it depends on the product and how expensive it is. I will buy one item from your shop and then disregard your company due to the film protector. Really? If I print on the film? I can give you some anecdotal reasoning if you want. PLTK gave me a great idea of buying tempered screen protectors and cutting them to shape for my screens. Uplutek. Yeah, that's not a bad idea. Yeah, for devices where you can't buy a protector in the right size. Yeah. You could do the same thing with a TPU film. Like, I use TPU films on my phone because it has a fingerprint sensor in the display, so you can't use tempered glass. I think TPU looks fine. Like, it's pretty clear. It's not that. TPU is like this rubbery film. I don't think it's too bad. But so, okay, I can give you anecdotal reasoning why I would want to print on the film. Working for a company which had a display that was shipped with a film on it. Sometimes the films weren't the best. Like sometimes the films were a bit dirty underneath the film and kind of looks bad. And the thing is, some users, they get it and they don't want to remove the film, which is understandable. Like they want to keep the resale value, they want to keep the screen protected, blah, blah, blah. But the thing is, then they'll take photos of it and do reviews online, make videos about it and stuff. And sometimes it makes the device look cheap because people watching the video don't realize that there's a film on there and they just think the display looks like shit. So you kind of want those people to take the film off, but they don't want to. But it's kind of hurts the product if people see it in public with the film on. Strange as that sounds, like it's kind of bad PR if they're seen with a film on them. So that's why you want to kind of encourage people to remove the film. I'm considering cutting some TPU or tempered glass for my screens. I move gear around a lot and I get nervous about accidentally scratching something. Yeah, that's fair. I do the same. Like my phone. Sorry. My phone came with a factory installed screen protector, which I guess is some like harder version of a TPU screen protector. But I even stick another one on top of that, so I get it. I empathize with it. Factory installed screen protectors. Gorilla Glass screens when? Well, I think this device. Whoops. I think this screen has Gorilla Glass on it. Pretty sure it's some kind of tempered glass. But yeah. When? I don't know. Hopefully this product when. Alright, how am I going to line up this hole and glue these together? What have I got that's got an M3 screw in it? I only fuck with sapphire glass screens, bro. Do a diamond screen for you. It'll be pretty scratch resistant. I do have a mod dwarf here which has an M3 screw in it. But I don't know if it's long enough. Oh, actually, I might have something. Give me 1 second. Okay. I don't have an M3 screw, but I do have some cheap drill bits. So I could probably just stick this 3mm drill bit through the hole. Yeah, perfect. How many did I say I was doing? 4? How thick is that? 12.85. Or I just do 3. the display will be sticking up out of the device like a millimeter, which is probably fine. I think I'll do that. Then if it needs to be taller, I can add more of these spaces on there. Sound good? I reckon. Okay. Don't get me wrong, like in general, I am into like accessories that allow you to preserve your devices better. Like deck saver, I think is a great idea. I fuck with deck saver. Oh no. Just gluing my fingers together again. Yeah, deck save is cool. Screen protectors are cool. It's just if they look bad, no. But maybe that's just the thing. Just got to make really good screen protectors that don't look bad. Shit, that's a lot of glue. I hope I'm not gluing this drill bit in. I think I did. God damn it. Oh, good times. Alright, let me get some pliers. Can I get this out? Okay, it's moving. There we go. Okay, see that? Got our little spacer on there. The hole goes all the way through. You can see what camera I'm using if I do this. Shout out to Logitech. Okay, let's do that again. So, Elk, for this product, seeing as hopefully you'll be the first customer, what would you request as a screen protector? Not printed, I'm assuming. Oh my god, this glue sets so fast. Too much. Well, I don't know, bro. I'm just a consumer. The customer's always right, don't you know that? You should present it in a way you envision it. It's an instrument. Yeah, true. I don't know, maybe this is one of those things where we need to like petition people and be like, film or no film, like, or more accurately, like, film that you have to remove because it's printed, or film that looks good and you can keep it on. I'm not opposed to a film that looks good. The device might get hot though, but I don't know if the film will affect that or not. All right. Two spaces. That's done. Gonna do this one. Now this one's symmetrical, but this one, need to make sure that the spaces are on the correct side. So if I'm looking at it, oops. If we look at the CAD again. Oh, wait a minute. This isn't symmetrical. So question is, did I do it on the right side or not? 9.21. .91. Let's see. That says 9.12, 9.12, 9.6. So the bottom one's bigger. So luckily I accidentally did that correct. The customer is always right in matters of taste, is the correct quote. And that's for salespeople. True. But a film is a matter of taste, right? Make the film polarized so it has to be removed regardless, lol. Yeah, the screen just doesn't work if you don't remove it. You just can't see any of the pixels. Okay, so back to the CAD. With the slot up here, the spaces need to be on the back. So the slot up here, I need to put the spaces on this side. I'm going to put it this way. Yeah, I don't know. I'm thinking like if the display doesn't already have a film on it, see, I've been planning this device actually to have like a transparent display protector, but if it's going to be a touchscreen display, that's not really going to be possible, because you'll need to touch the screen, so it can't have any material above the screen. James DeBono, I make the keychain to send it. Absolutely send it. What are we talking about here? Can't film the screen either, lol. Oh, the polarized. True. Didn't think about that. No, so I was just thinking, yeah, I can't really put a transparent display protector on a touchscreen. So the glass of the touchscreen itself is going to have to be at the top of the device. How's that going to work? I don't know. Figure that out later. But yeah, maybe we do like a nice TPU film on the display if it doesn't already have one on there, because it might already have one on there. And then just put like, you know when you buy a new phone and it'll have like just like a piece of paper on top of it? Maybe we do that, just with a little sticker at the top and the bottom, just so that when it's being handled and stuff, it doesn't get scratched, and also like the TPU film doesn't get scratched. And then you can take that paper off, and then you'll have the nice TPU film underneath that is actually a display protector still. Maybe we could even sell it with a spare display protector. How would that be? That'd be a pog idea. Okay, got one of the spaces on. One more to go. And I've been streaming an hour 20 now, so that's probably good timing. I reckon this is the last thing I need to do. So when I'm finished, I can probably start wrapping up. That would be generous. I'm assuming you mean including the display protector. I mean, I was just thinking for these kinds of things, right? Like when you buy a phone, phones are super common, so it's easy to find a replacement display protector for a phone. But if it's some audio device, what are the chances you're going to be able to find a replacement? And if we have to manufacture the films anyway, like we already have that process down, rather than like trying to worry about selling replacements into the future for however many years, just include a spare one, you know? probably cost like 5 extra cents. Maybe less. It's probably not a bad idea. Oh, maybe we just include 2 extras. And you can use it. And when you want to sell it, put the spare one on there. Looks brand new. You know? Promotes people buying buying used gear. Good for the environment. I'm into the idea. I mean, we've said this before, this isn't going to be a cheap device. It's going to be a fairly premium product. So I think if somebody pays a lot of money for a premium product and they open it up and get a whole bunch of unexpected extra nice stuff, it's like, that's the way it should be, I think. Like, you should open the package and go, oh, this is legit. Like, yeah, it was expensive, but it was worth it. These guys actually care about the customers, you know. All right. 2 brackets are done. 6 extra spaces if needed, which can go not in there, but in here. I'll put back my drill bit. Just check if this fits. Yep. Perfect. Watch the selling meta be original box and unused second factory screen protector. Yeah, I was thinking about that when I was saying it. It's like, yeah, then, you know, you can give it with, like, you can sell it with the other screen protector so it looks brand new, but then the person who buys it will be like, well, you don't have the extra screen protector included? It's not brand new. Yeah, but come on. These are perishable items. You've got to use them. You know, like, people buy projectors that have limited life bulbs in them. Mod had great packaging and you could tell they cared about the product and presentation. Yeah, I mean, we went to the extra effort to make a nice case for it, you know, like the EVA case, the carry case. Not a lot of companies do that, but, like, credit to John. That was, you know, John was passionate about that. He was like, yeah, I want people to open the box. I want the unboxing experience to be good. I want people to open it and go, oh shit, this is nice. Alright, so now I've got these 2 brackets. So these will mount like this. And I put a screw through each of these. I haven't got the screws yet. And the display will mount onto this. So I'll probably mount these onto the display, put the screws through, kind of loose, and then put it here, and put the screws through kind of loose as well, then I can probably flip the whole thing over and get it centered and then tighten it. So yeah, that's it. It's ready to ship. I'll put these in here. Because I don't have any screws to attach them. And let me try to get a nice shot for the thumbnail. Or maybe it'd be better like this. I don't know. Something like this. But yeah, that's it. She's a bit warped, but you know, not much I can do. Display. Okay, display. Display. All right, that's done. Gonna deliver it to Yessa, and we can start playing with it. And in the next video, I think I'll get back into the CAD. Back into, where is it? Is larger by the phone. The display will be larger, yeah. And speaking of display, in the main CAD, the display is now missing because I accidentally moved the file, but also we need to change the display anyway, so that's going to be in the next video, I guess. Changing the display and also changing this Raspberry Pi. It's going to get replaced with a Jetson Nano. So even though I found this cool solution for this little PCB adapter board where this could plug in here and this could plug in here at different heights, I'm proud of that solution, but it's no longer needed. For the Arduino, no Arduinos here. This is a Raspberry Pi, and we're going to change to a Jetson Nano. But yeah, so that'll be the next video. And for now, this is going to go to Yessa for testing. Yeah, I think that's it for now. Might have an early night. Cool. Well, thanks for following along, guys. Thanks for watching. Thanks for chatting as always. El Camarco, great to have you here. Thanks for interacting. It's always good to have somebody to talk to. Keep me busy, keep me company. So yeah, much appreciated. And thanks for all of your input and advice and all those kinds of things. But yeah, for now, that's it. And next stream might not be for a short while. If I don't stream tomorrow, I might stream tomorrow. But if not, it'll be in about a week's time. Got some stuff to do. But yeah, great having you here. And if you're watching this later, if you've clicked on the video, much appreciated. Thank you so much for clicking. So glad that people are following along and that you're interested in this. If you like what I'm doing and you want me to keep doing it, what would really help me is just some simple things, just liking the video, subscribing on YouTube, following in any of the socials, follow on Twitch as well if you have Twitch, Instagram, those places, it also helps. YouTube's my main focus though now, so yeah, like the video, share it, subscribe, whatever else if you can, would be much appreciated, and it also helps me to get further with this and stay motivated and everything. So yeah, but yeah, thanks guys, and see you on the next one. Bye.